Good morning. Good morning. It's a beautiful Friday morning.
Yes.
I'm here with my honey. Yesterday was our oldest's birthday. I told you guys, that on Wednesday. And even though I went to bed probably at like 10, right? Probably like 10. I feel like I'm having a birthday hangover. Like I'm so tired today, even though I went to bed at 10 o'clock, which is early for most of you. I still feel, and the baby didn't wake up last night. So there's really no excuse, is what I'm trying to get at. That's what I'm trying to say. Good morning. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning. Good morning, Erin. Good morning. I don't know why my comments aren't showing who's watching. All right, today is Let's Talk About Money with my honey. And we've got some questions to answer. Good morning, Carmine. And then talking about kids. We said that earlier. I've said that earlier. Yeah, so we'll just get started on this wonderful, wonderful Friday morning. Our first question was asking about cars, and they bought a Dave Ramsey car, which for those that don't know, he is not a car salesman. His idea about cars is to buy a used car that you can drive around. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay. That you can drive around for a little while you save up money. So not on a loan, you pay cash for. There you go. Then you can save up money so you can get maybe an upgrade to a different used car. But the idea is that you wouldn't have any auto debt.
Right. Yeah. Trying to reduce your auto expense while you're getting out of other debt or saving up for a better car, depending on your situation. One or the other. Yeah.
So my friend here was asking, she has a car, the transmission might be going out. So she's wondering, do I put the money in to fix this transmission, or do I let this car go and try to purchase another used car with the money that I have saved for the transmission?
Yeah.
Which is a good question.
But yeah, it's a good question. Smart question. So there's no, I guess, silver bullet answer from us on our end, but it's the best advice you can give is if you have a mechanic friend that you trust, or someone you know, take it to them and have them look at it and ask them to look at, because the worry was sinking money into it and something else happened. So have them look at it and say, hey, is there anything else you see wrong? Are there any other big issues that could happen, in the next, year or so? They won't be able to tell you for sure, but it'll give you an idea. If they say no, another 5 years, whatever it is, then it's worth fixing it and keeping the car. But if they say, well, no, there's other issues that are coming up, then it's time. Okay, yeah, time to get rid of the car because it could just be more and more repairs. So then it's time to, as they asked, then get a new Dave Ramsey car that fits the criteria of used, reliable, it's going to last a long time and have low cost related to it.
Cars are always kind of a gamble, especially when you're purchasing a used car.
No guarantee.
So you have to just make your best educated decision. And so that's why if you do have a mechanic friend or somebody you know that's a licensed mechanic, an educated mechanic, make sure that they take a good look at your cars and
so you might have
give
to
you their
spend
educated
a little bit
opinion
to have them do that. But it's almost like an insurance policy, I guess. So you got to spend a little bit to try and reduce the risk of you getting burned, and spend more later. That's all.
Yeah, that's good. And I think there's like a biblical principle to this. I know we're talking about cars, we're talking about money, but when you do your due diligence and you try to make a good decision, I think God honors that. That's mine. Unless you need to learn a lesson financially, which we've all done that too. Maybe God needs to teach you a lesson through your cards. Okay, our second question. Here's the second question this morning. Did we answer it? Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So second question is about paying off debt. So this person, I might mess up your question if you're listening, but they were asking how they should attack debt. Should they start by paying the bill with the highest interest, or should they start by paying the lowest bill? They're really wanting to get into a house, and so paying off debt is a huge part of what they need to do.
Yeah. For that question, paying off the bills, the best approach is really paying off the smallest debt first. It doesn't make run the numbers and calculate it. The numbers would say, well, you pay off the highest interest because you're going to save the most interest by doing that. But by paying off the smallest debt, you get that psychological win. You can start checking things off and start building a list. And you say, oh, look at all these debts I've paid off. And now there's only 3 left and we've paid off 5. So that's why you start attacking the smallest, because then you just build it and you start building momentum.
Yeah, that's what Dave Ramsey talks about, the snowball effect. So that when you start with the little,
it feels like you just start lifting weights off of you. So you're just getting them checked off, less things to worry about. So the numbers, it'll take a little bit longer, but you'll feel it more.
Which you want to feel those victories.
Yeah.
Those are big victories. Hopefully that helps you with that question. But that brought, in our morning discussions amongst ourselves, that brought up a really good point, is that when you're working towards this as a family, trying to pay off debt, you're probably going to be on a smaller budget, a tighter budget. Your kids are noticing the effect, the name brands. They can't have as many snacks as they wanted, right? The whole family goes through the whole debt removal process.
Yeah.
So why not bring them to the table? Sure, we're not going to talk to our 3-year-olds or even our 11-year-olds about how much debt we're in. That's not what we're saying. You don't have to give them all the numbers to be able to bring them to the table and teach them that we all have a part and responsibility in this. And if they can help save, then they can help us check those boxes off as well.
Yeah. Getting them involved, like you said, they don't have to know the amounts, but if you have like a graph, certain things, and so as you pay off a debt, then they know, and everyone scratches it off, or you get a star or something to where they're involved and they know about it, and you explain to them that, hey, we're getting out of debt, and the reason we want to save up and get into a house, so that's our goal. Or we want to get a new car, but we want to get out of debt first. And so all those things to help them understand the reason why you're doing it and get them on board with it.
Yeah. Bring them to the table, which is all we're going to talk about today. Kids, include them in your money stuff, whatever age they are. Help get them familiar. This is just our perspective in our household, but we want to make sure our kids are familiar with money and what it takes to save or give, or the principles included in it. So Ethan knows we have a budget. And so he asks for things. Oh, I need new underwear, or I need a new shirt, or I need whatever, I need new shoes. And I say, let me go to the budget and see what we've spent for you this month. Okay, well, I have a little bit of money. We can spend that. So he kind of knows, well, it's towards the end of the month and I already bought one thing this month. So I guess maybe we should wait till next month to be able to purchase those things. He's starting to understand that money just doesn't come and you just can't get whatever you want whenever you want it. So we're trying to include him and familiarize money. Yesterday for his birthday, as he kept saying, what did he say? I made this much money.
Yeah.
Because all he wanted for his birthday is money. He's that age. I made this much money. And I'm like, babe, you didn't make any of that money. That was a gift that you were gifted. Oh yeah, you're right. But just trying to kind of familiarize them with these concepts, these terms, because you don't want your kids to become 18, 19 and not have any idea of what it takes to earn money, how to spend it, how to save it. You don't want them to get that old. No, you don't.
Yeah.
So then,
and you have to sometimes look for teaching opportunities, because there's one time Ethan wanted to buy something, but he didn't have enough money, and so he was asking if we could pay for the rest, and then he would pay us back. And so it might have been, we'll give you the $10, but you have to pay us back $15. And it's like, wait, what?
Mind you, this story is so much better than John's giving it, because we are at Target at the checkout. He's like, I don't have enough money. I thought I had enough money. I don't have enough money. I need to borrow money. Can I borrow money from you? I'll pay you back. So it was very dramatic. It was very like the cashier was there.
Yeah.
He had to make a quick decision, just like those credit card people that always want you to buy a credit card. They're always pressuring you right there at the last minute. He felt like he had to make a decision. So John told him, you can borrow it, but you're going to, instead of doing 2 car washes for $10, you're going to have to do 5 car washes. He's like, that doesn't make sense. I only need $10. Well, this is called interest. Well, the interest is more than Ethan, this is life. This is how it's going to be. And he took the bait, that's for sure. But it led to a great conversation from the store all the way to the car. Well, what do you mean? What's interest? You mean when you use the credit card, you pay back more money than you actually spent? That makes no sense. Why would people do that? Exactly, Ethan. Why would people do that? It was a great. I was very proud wife moment at that. In that moment, but find those little moments that are like teachable moments. How can you express this concept of interest? How can you teach them these things while they're young and they can still laugh about it?
Right.
Needs versus wants. It's a good concept to teach your kids.
Yeah.
What do they need versus what do they want? Well, I need a new shirt. Well, do you need a new shirt because you have nothing to wear and you need a new shirt, or you need a new shirt because it's really nice and you want a new shirt? There's a difference. Are you going to work as hard for the thing that you need versus that you want? Make them wait. Part of our budget too is making him wait a couple extra weeks for that new shirt or those new shorts or maybe a new pair of shoes. So he understands that it all. And then giving versus saving.
Giving and saving.
Giving and saving. So you're right. You're right. They're not. We need to teach our kids givings and savings. So you know what? Yesterday was Ethan's birthday and he got gifted some money. Well, it's a great time to teach them. You give some, you save some, and you spend some. So we're going to be looking at his money. We're going to be coming up with a number that we give to the church, because that's what we do first and foremost. We give to God. That's our principle in our house. That's what we do in our giving. And we want Ethan to begin to learn that principle. And then savings, he's going to put some aside for savings. We're working on this. He doesn't understand. Why do I need to save? I don't want anything. I don't need anything. So we're trying to kind of piece that concept in his head of why he needs to put some aside for later. And we're working on that. But then he can take what's left and he can buy the things on his list that he wants to buy. But our thought in this is to get him familiar with these concepts, to get him familiar with savings, to get him familiar with giving so that he can save for a car one day, or he can save for whatever he wants to buy in the future. And giving is not an option. Giving to God is first and foremost, and he needs to be thankful and grateful for the money he's gotten.
Yeah. And it's teaching on the giving part, the tithe part, the underlying that it's not our money, it's God's money. So we're giving him, the biblical principles. You're giving him the first fruits. So you gotta, really trying to reinforce that the money isn't theirs, it's God's, and we're using God's money for his good. So it's trying to teach them those underlying principles first, so they have that understanding. Vera, 2-year-old, based on the age of the kids, what's appropriate for them.
Yeah. Another thing that we wrote down here was giving them responsibilities. So oftentimes I get asked the question of, what is the term when you get money for nothing, for not doing anything?
Do you get an allowance?
And how do we handle that sort of thing with Ethan? We don't give an allowance. This is like a Dave Ramsey thing that Dave Ramsey talks about. And I've tried to really follow this since I've gone through Dave Ramsey, but he says you don't give an allowance, you give a commission based on what they've done that week. So if they did all their chores, then you can give them a commission based on what they've done that week and how they've contributed to the household. So it's based on effort. Right. And then, of course, in our house, we have some extra things that Ethan can do to earn some extra money, washing the car, like extra vacuuming or extra cleaning, picking up some of my chores, and I can pay him to do those if he has a goal in mind to earn. But in our roof, we don't just give money freely for no work or no effort. He has to be a contributing part of that feeling.
Just like we said, he didn't earn his birthday money.
No.
So trying to teach him, the money is earned. And you have to put in work. And
And we think that by starting to teach him these principles while he's under our roof.
And then as your kids get older, they become teenagers, get into high school, then you have to start transitioning them, where they need to start learning about bills. So there's certain things, recreational activities, things they're going to do with their friends that they're going to be responsible to pay for. So they're going to have to earn their money to pay for that. So they learn to watch movies when you can watch movies again at the mall or at Edwards.
Again.
That
you have to earn that.
Because you have to earn that money. You have to save it up to be able to spend it. And then, if they have a part-time job, if they're working somewhere, that starts to teach them about taxes. And they're, that just because you're making $15 an hour doesn't mean you take home $15 an hour. The government takes out the taxes on it. And then, and as your kid's getting ready to go transition into college, and there's other things bills they need to understand, the costs of things. Like you said, you're trying to prepare them for when they become a full adult. So you're trying to, build the foundation so that each thing kind of builds on itself, age appropriate, and then giving them more and more responsibility, more and more understanding. When they start to get older, then you need to start talking about number sums so they kind of have an understanding of that as well.
Yeah. And that's really the thought. It's not, okay, you're 16, 17, 18. Now you need to have a job and you need to pay for your own responsibilities. That's not the idea behind it. The idea is to be able to walk alongside them while they're learning these concepts. So yes, you have a job, and yes, you're going to pay for your cell phone bill. That's a great bill that they can contribute. Maybe they don't, I don't know, whatever you agree in your household, but helping them to contribute, helping them to pay those bills, you have the opportunity to familiarize them with these concepts. How do I pay a bill? Do I pay it online? Is it better to pay online? Is it better to pay to mail it in? What is it better? While they're under your roof, while they're under the age of 18, you can teach them these concepts and familiarize them with bill paying and with these things, instead of just waiting until they're 18, 19, they're out of your house and they're like, Mom, I don't understand. I went over my minutes. Who's going to pay for this? Or, whatever the various concepts are.
But I didn't pay my bill and they charged me a late penalty. What's that?
Oh, yeah. To people in my
house. Yeah.
They're charging me a fee. So making sure that you're taking the time, you're helping your kids be familiarized with money, the concept of giving to God first, the concept of saving a little bit, even if they don't know what they're saving for. I believe that, I'm going to have a kickback from Ethan probably on some of these concepts, but my thought is to familiarize him with the concepts so that when he is, that's the goal of parenting. I think we have to keep that in mind. I absolutely have to keep that in mind. The goal of parenting is not that you're in charge and you're the dictator. The goal of parenting is to raise a successful adult that when they're 20, 25, that they have a job, that they pay their bills, that they're not in debt, that they have successful relationships and friendships. And that's what you're building while they're under your roof. You're giving them the concepts to grow on, giving them the understanding. So being able to talk about giving, savings, including them in your debt payoff. Hey, we're paying off debt. Look at my checkboard. This is what we're doing. Do you want to help? Maybe you need to get out and do a yard sale when we can do yard sales. Do a yard sale with your family and let them contribute some of that money. I know Ethan at one time, he was probably like 6 or 7. I don't even know if you've heard this, but he wanted more toys, and we just had toys upon toys upon toys. It was me and him. And so I said, let's do a yard sale. If you get rid of some of these toys, then we'll go and buy you one toy that you want. that's a good quality toy. So he sold a lot of toys. He was able to let go. It was that 6 or 7 age, where they want everything. He was able to let a lot of really big toys go. So he earned a big amount of money, and we went to the store and we purchased one really good toy, like big, high priced item with that money. And so he kind of understood, okay, this is my contribution. If I let some things go, I might be able to get something nicer in the future. And so just kind of including them in that process, letting them help you to pay off debt, including them on selling and getting rid of their toys, so that they can get kickback. But our goal is to raise a successful adult with the skills necessary, not be your friend.
Yeah.
All right, friends, this has been so much fun. I have thoroughly enjoyed having my honey on with me talking about money. If you still have questions, you can message me. We like to talk about money, so we like to message and respond to you. In fact, I actually have a home warranty question I need to respond to, so I will be responding to you on that. Yeah, so if you have questions, just let me know. I do want to give a big shout out to Crystal, because girlfriend, you've been with me from the beginning, working your budget, coming to my house, working it, paying stuff off. So it's super exciting to hear what God is doing and blessing you and blessing your finances. You always have an awesome testimony to share, and it's very exciting. Some other people have actually been messaging me their testimonies of their finances growing, what they've been able to do during this time. And it's been really cool to hear. It's motivating when you hear someone else's testimony that God's blessing their finances and opening up doors for them.
Yeah.
It encourages you to keep going. I think that's the really big concept of Financial Peace University. If your church offers a class, you should totally do it, even if you feel like, I don't know, I'm not really interested in hearing what other people say. It builds a community of people. And when you hear other people paying off their debt, it encourages you to get on it and do what you need to do so that you can pay off your debt. So let me pray with you. God, I thank you so much, Lord. You have blessed us. We live in this awesome country where we have money and we have an opportunity to make money. God, I pray that you would continue to bless us as we continue to be diligent with our finances, that you would continue to bless us. God, I pray for our kids, Lord, that you would create opportunities and ways for us to begin to discuss these concepts with our kids so that they can grow up to be successful adults, so that they would have the successful tools available to them to be able to make wise money decisions. Lord, we thank you, and we give them creative ways to pay off debt so that they can pay it off faster, that they would continue to feel the motivation so that they can get out of debt and be able to purchase a home. That's a great motivation, God. I pray that you would give my friend purchasing a car, Lord, that you would give her wisdom as she makes a decision, an educated decision based on her car, God, that you would meet those needs, God, and you would continue to do exceedingly abundantly all that we can ask or perceive, Lord. We praise you and we thank you for this. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Bye, friends. I will not be on next week as I'm taking a little break, and I'll keep you posted on what we're doing for June or what we're not doing or what's happening in June. I will keep you posted. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.